844-500-4242. Time now for the Chump Line.
Well, Charlie Parker, I just want to let you know why my son Gropey was acquitted of any bad habits on the airplane. She was in his intimate circle.
I don't think the woman that was screaming, according to the state police report, she didn't consider herself in the intimate circle. Did Gropey go down to Florida with him and the little woman, as they say, for the weekend? Or is Gropey allowed on commercial flights?
Don't know.
What are the odds that Gropey has the window seat?
That would minimize the number of people he could have intimate contact with. Intimate is the key word here. And you should see the defenders of Gropey Baker on the Globe message board, to a lesser degree the Herald message board. Well, his wife's one of her parents died, so he had to leave the state. Really? What about all the people who didn't have funerals for their loved ones or their friends for the last year, and there were no dispensations for them, were there? I remember talking to a woman who works at the State House, an elected politician, and her sister died, and she started crying on the phone to me when she was explaining that she couldn't go to the funeral, they couldn't have a wake, the relatives weren't supposed to hug one another. I mean, so it was okay to oppress everybody else in the state, but because Charlie Parker's in-law died, he gets a pass after lecturing everybody else in the state not to do what he's about to do. Okay, I get it. The Chump Line. The Chump Line is brought to you by Matthews Brothers, America's oldest window manufacturer, saying if you want to score some big points in this week's challenge to win a trip for you and your best buddy to go fishing with Captain Marciano, you'll need to follow directions and get creative. Go to MatthewsBrothers.com and click on Contact Page.
Baker's saltwater and sweat-soaked intimate friend invited him to Florida in between using a respirator, so it's fine.
Yeah, which one of Baker's anonymous friends invited him to go down to Florida? Taylor, do you know? Or was it one of the New Bedford fishermen?
I don't know too many New Bedford fishermen that vacation in Florida.
Especially with a big holiday coming up, this is a good time to go out and catch some fish, right? This is probably the prices are a little bit up for Easter, even though, I know it's not ham, but some people like to eat fish at a holiday.
Like a kiss over flooded home waters, Cuomo creeped her out.
He's talking about the woman, the number 9 for Cuomo, who said she was creeped out by his actions when he visited the flooded home. But he used the song "Like a Bridge Over Troubled Water." That's what the Red Sox played before the first pitch today on opening day, and they for the first responders, not for a tribute to Ted Kennedy, for the COVID-19 first responders. By the way, the Red Sox are on the verge of losing their first game of the season. They're down in the top of the 9th, 3-0. So as Bob LaBelle were still around on Channel 4, he would say, "There goes your undefeated season."
Here's 3 things I won't be doing. Drinking a Coke on a Delta flight heading to the All-Star game.
Yeah, I agree. I stopped drinking Pepsis years ago when they had that woman who said that, she basically said she was an immigrant. She said, I raise my middle finger to the United States. I said, okay, I raise my middle finger to Pepsi. I don't drink a lot of cola to begin with, but I'm not drinking any more Coke either. I don't know. I'll just have, soda water, seltzer water now.
The end of the filibuster. House Resolution 1, $6 trillion in COVID relief spending, with another $4 trillion coming down the pike for infrastructure. I definitely have a sense of impending doom.
Yeah, a lot of us do. Russian troops massing on the Ukraine border. Reports that Iran has finally got a nuclear weapon. The end of the energy independence of the United States of America. Yeah, there's a lot of impending doom out there.
The reason Biden hasn't scheduled a joint address to Congress is that he thinks he has to legalize marijuana first.
I think he'd be okay with legalizing pot first. I mean, his son loves the weed. You know, I mean, maybe not as much as crack cocaine, but I'm sure in any port in a storm. How about Hunter Biden though, saying that he might have been the victim of Russian hacking, and that the Russians may have stolen his computer? That raises an interesting question. If your laptop was stolen, do you think you'd notice it? Do you think you might report it to the police? Especially if it was full of incriminating evidence about your father, who was running for president of the United States, and some very compromising photographs.
Howie, how much would you remember if you were taking a hit of crack cocaine every 15 minutes?
Yeah, I can't even begin to imagine that. What his life must have been like. You could see why Burisma would want to pay him, the Ukrainian energy company would want to pay him $83,000 a month for a guy who's taken a hit of crack cocaine every 15 minutes, who's so stoned that he leaves his pipe in a rented car along with his brother's Secret Service pass.
Howie, Joe Biden calling. Come on, man. What the Texas Baseball Club is doing is irresponsible. A full ballpark is a huge health risk to the fans and the ball players. I mean, think about it, man. When the Yankees come to play, if Lou Gehrig catches COVID-19, he might lose his consecutive game streak. Though, that does mean that Wally Pitt might get a second chance, sort of like I did. I mean it.
Yeah, Joe Biden, he's from Delaware, so his closest team, probably his closest major league city, was Philadelphia. He's a big fan of the A's. Connie Mack, that's his go-to manager in baseball history.
Joe Biden here. My infrastructure plan hinges on one 3-letter word: JOBS. No joke.
I'd forgotten that one. That's a good sound cut to put in the rotation. If not today, Taylor, we can put it in for next week when they start having hearings, if they even have hearings on the infrastructure so-called bill.
Border Patrol agents were puzzled today when a cackling middle-aged woman in a pantsuit dropped a German Shepherd named Major over the wall from the United States into Mexico.
Major said he thought he was headed for a farm, not the desert. 561 says, who hasn't left drug paraphernalia in a rental car? It's not like he left a package of zigzag rolling papers, a crack pipe, Class B controlled substance.
Mayor, we're approaching the traditional Easter weekend, which dredges up some bad memories. Like some girl accusing William of rape, and someone stealing my mother's urn, and of course me losing my trousers. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that today. Today is the 28th anniversary of the traditional Easter weekend, as Ted Kennedy described it, of the Kennedy family when William Kennedy Smith was accused of raping some girl at the Kennedy mansion, which has since been torn down, comfortably numb by the sea.
That was your last CHUMPLINE message. Thank you for calling Howie Carr. You chump.
That's it for the Chump Line today. The Chump Line is the recorded voicemail message service of the Howie Carr Show. You can call and leave a message at any hour of the day or night, as long as it's between 1 and 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on the weekdays. The Chump Line number, if you'd like to leave such a message, 844-500-4242, 844-500-4242. Press 2 for the Chump Line. Leave your message. We may or may not play it at this hour each weekday. If you didn't hear your message or you just want to hear more Chump Line messages, go to Chopped Chumps, where we post the extra Chump Line messages. We post them every night around 7 o'clock Eastern Time, just as the show ends. You can find Chopped Chumps wherever you find your Howie Carr Show podcasts. The Chump Line is brought to you by Matthews Brothers, America's oldest window manufacturer, saying if you want to score some big points in this week's challenge to win a trip for you and your best buddy to go fishing with Captain Marciano, you'll need to follow directions and get creative. Go to MatthewsBrothers.com and click on Contact Page.
Like a kiss over flooded home waters, Cuomo creeped her out.
I think it must have been even creepier when he sent her a photograph of the two of them together after being in the house with her husband, and her son, and it's only addressed to her. I mean, I don't know how else to interpret that other than that he was coming on to her. And she didn't know how to interpret it any other way either. I'm Howie Carr.
He's making talk radio great again. He's